Hi, I'm Boris Johnson, the Mayor of London, and I support the Stephen Lawrence Trust. Just a horrifying wake-up call, I think, for the city about, well, first of all, it was a life of a gifted young man that was cut short in appalling circumstances. And then there was the added horror of, institutional failures to investigate it properly and to bring his killers to justice. And it was an event of seismic importance for the Metropolitan Police. And
do you agree to the declaration of it? It was part of institutional racism. Do you think that's true?
And I certainly think that what Lord Macpherson had to say was extremely important and true, and it led to big changes. And when I became mayor in 2008, one of the things we wanted to do was to continue the work of improving the Met. I think, to be fair, it had improved a great deal over that period. It had got.
Has race relations improved?
I think race relations have improved, but there was a lot more that needed to be done, and that was why we set up the Race and Faith Inquiry, chaired by Cindy Bartz on the MPA, and I think she did a great job. And I think she, as she said in her report, have we got an organisation here that's dysfunctional, that's racist? No. Are there improvements that we could make? Yes. And so one of the things that we want to do, and we're continuing to do this work, is obviously to have delayed entry schemes so that people can join the Met at different levels. So people from black and ethnic minority groups who might not have got in at the first ground floor can join later on in their careers. Because one of the, I'm proud to say, under this mayoralty now, there are more black and ethnic minority members of the police service than ever before. That's great, but you need to have more progression. I want to see more senior. We appointed a very senior assistant deputy commissioner the other day. Deputy Assistant Commissioner. That's good, but there's more to be done.
And to come back and do another lecture.
I'd be delighted to. And I congratulate you on what you're doing to promote architecture and the study of architecture amongst young people in the city. I think it's very, very important.
Thank you.
And the other day, obviously there have been developments in the case, and you'll be familiar with that. There's allegations of corruption now. Surrounding what happened in 1998 and thereafter, and we have to look into that. So I've written to the Home Secretary to say that's something that does merit further inquiry, in my view. Whether it's now possible to impanel the whole Lawrence inquiry again, I'm not certain, but something needs to be done, and I've written to the Home Secretary to that effect.
Brilliant.
In terms of institutional racism, there's still a lot of tension between issues with police brutality, and not just with Mark Duggan, but with several other cases in recent times. What is your view on that, and do you think it is still quite a big issue right now, and something which still needs to be addressed? And if so, how would you go about addressing that?
It does need to be addressed, and I mean the only consolation I have is that I think in a lot of the cases that the police publicised recently, they put it out there, they put out some of this stuff, the complaints. Bernard Hogan-Howe, the Commissioner, has made some very powerful statements recently about how he won't tolerate it at any price. But, for my money, the best answer is to keep promoting talented, brilliant, BAME officers.
Keen cyclists, what's the best bike to go around London on, apart from Boris'
best bike?
Yes.
God, I hesitate to say. I've got my bike is perfectly I think you need a British bike. I'm a little bit ashamed that my bike is not actually made in London.
Oh, made in London? How many bikes are made in London?
Lots of, at least 3 manufacturers in London.
Really? Okay.
And I'm going to make sure I get a London. I think get a London bike.
Get a London.
Next time, because crime is down so far, my bike has not been stolen for a long time. But I think when the next, if I'm so unlucky as to have my bicycle stolen, which I don't think I will be as long as I'm mayor.
Right.
Then I will buy a London-made bike.
What if you don't become mayor? What's your contingency plan?
I have no such plan.
No, then it's just go back into obscurity.
I'm making no plans.
Do you think Londoners have warmed to your style of mayorism? Like,
we're working very hard, and I think that they look at some of the things that we're offering: more police on the streets, investing in jobs, creating a great future for the city. I think, on the whole, a lot of people seem to agree with what we're saying, and I believe that over the next 4 years we can do a fantastic job. I won't deny, I've changed. It's been a big thing for me to become mayor. I was, 4 or 5 years ago, I was.
Has it lived up to your expectations?
Never done a job like it's the best job in the world. It's the best job in the world. It's the best job in British politics by a long way, no question.
Brilliant. What about you and Ken Livingstone? Are you frenemies?
Well, all the other candidates have their points of view. My job is to get my message across.
Are you really secretly friends with him, though? Behind all the kind of the discussions and the arguments and the swearing in the lips?
Well, I tell you this: if you take the trouble to correct somebody about something that's to do with your own personal finances, and they've got it wrong once, and then they say it again, and they know that they're not telling the truth, then you've got a right to invest in making it safer, provided we get more police out there, provided we put in the transport infrastructure, and keep driving forward all the investments in transport. Invest in the regeneration schemes. London has a great future. I think it's going to be the best place for a talented young person, or indeed a talented person of any age to live in Europe. It's the greatest city in Europe by a long way, and the world.
In the world, of course.